Hey everyone, here I go with another comparison video. This time it's spelling. We had used this program last year and we actually really liked it. But this year we decided to switch to Traditional Spelling 2 from Memoria Press. And I'm gonna do a little bit of a flip through on each. I actually did a full video on flipping through this. So if you wanna get a detailed flip through just with this program, I'll leave it in the cards. But now that I have my hands on both of these, I'll do a brief one still here with this one at the end. And then I'm gonna mostly get into this one because I haven't done a flip through or anything with this one yet. And then I'll also talk about why we decided to go with this one this year. Unless you've seen some of my older videos and you'll know why. Okay, so I have mentioned this before, but Memoria Press has other resources, other books and flashcards and things like that that comes with the spelling program. And as usual, I'll show a picture here, what that looks like. But what I did is I only just got the teacher manual and the student workbook. And so far, I feel like that was a good decision. I don't think we need the flashcards or the extra workbooks. It's working pretty good. But, you know, if you want to look into that, or if you feel like your child can use some extra practice or whatever, you know, that's available. So basically, the only difference between this and this is that this has the answer key. And then, of course, it lesson overview, tells you how to break everything up throughout the week. There's a sample lesson plan where they just break everything up. But I'm gonna show how I do it because I like to keep things very simple. I don't do like extra activities or anything. I just pretty much stick with the workbook part of it. But I'm gonna just briefly show the contents. You can see the CVC and CVCC words is in lesson 1. Then they get into long A's, long E's, long I's, O's, U's, vowel teams, hard and soft C and G. So you can see that they definitely include all the phonetics and the phonetic marks in not only for you as a teacher, but as I'm gonna show in the student workbook as well. And that was pretty much the main difference of this book and this book is that in this book, they don't have any phonetic marks or anything. Like they'll tell you the rules, the phonetic rules, but they won't show the marks. And so I really liked that they showed the marks here so that my son can learn them. Where is it? Like this. Well, you'll see it right now when I get into it. And then another difference is the list of words. Here they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 8 words here. Let me see if it's always that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it's pretty much 8 words all throughout these lessons. And over here, there's more. Over here, this is lesson 1, and there's 15 words a week. So that's another big difference. So I guess you could say this one is a little more challenging. So let's get into a lesson. I'm actually going to get into lesson 2 because we've done our first week of school. Okay, this is what this will look like. So you notice they show the student page. This is exactly what that looks like, except for the teacher's manual, it shows the answer key. And then, of course, also gives some extra things for you as a teacher to know or to have on hand if you have the flashcards or if you have this book here, the classical phonics book. It gives you the definitions. It doesn't give them the definitions, but something to go over with. So the first day, and every week is the same. The first day is always, they're gonna kind of group the words. They're kind of like not in order when it comes to the phonetic sounds. So it's good for them to kind of look through and really make sure they know the sounds. So in this case, it says write the words that have the sound short A, and there is the phonetic mark again. And in this week, there's only 2. So he'll look for that and then write that in. And then they go to short E, short I, short U, and then a couple of sight words, which are in bold here. So after he's done grouping that, and then again, there's the answer key, then he goes to day 2. But something I want to bring out real quick before I go into that is that they do have extra activities that you can do on the side. Again, I don't personally do those. You know, assuming you have like a whiteboard or chalkboard or something, they have you write these things down, and then it says ask the students to make columns And then day 2 activity, write the spelling words, leave out the consonant blends. Students should write the complete word on their whiteboard, so they kind of just fill that out. But here's the answer key for day 2. And so what they do on day 2 is they do the consonant blends. So in this case, there's LF, LK, LP, LT. They put that here. Then there's the blend MF. Then it's ND, NT. And then these consonant blends, FT, FP, ST, and XT. ST and XT. And then the sight words. And then this is where they really practice with the phonetic marks and the syllables. They have to put a bullet in between the syllables of the word. And then they have to go back and write over the vowels or vowel teams with red, and then the consonant teams or blends with blue. Then they put a slash on the silent E's, and then they mark long vowels with a macron and a short vowel with a brev. So really practicing those phonetic marks there. Day 3, here's another activity, rhyming words. Again, on whiteboards, they can try to write at least one rhyming word per spelling word, so that's just extra. Okay, so then for day 3, they will usually include a paragraph, and what's nice about this is it's usually very educational. They include several spelling words, and they have those in bold. And then after that, they just fill out the sentences with the spelling words, and that is helping them to make sure they understand the vocabulary, the definitions, and putting what makes sense. For day 4, they have what's called dictation. So you're going to be telling them the sounds, and then they're going to be filling in those sounds here. And here's the answer key. And then you're going to say the spelling words. You're going to put them in a sentence. Then they're going to write that out here, just the spelling word. And then you're going to dictate a sentence. You're going to say the sentence out loud, and then they're going to write it out, the sentence. And you can see you're even looking for the correct punctuation. They instruct you through that. And then day 5 is the final test, where you will tell them the spelling word with the sentence. But in my case, I'm going to actually count this as the final test. So we're not going to be doing this on day 5. After day 4, he'll be complete for the week. Every week is that way, as you can see in lesson 3. Every day corresponding to the day, whether it's day 1 or 2, 3, 4, they're all the same activities. And then they have extra activities on the side that are a little more like games, something more fun. Here's what a lesson looks like in Soaring with Spelling and Vocabulary. They start with the list of words and the definitions, which you go over with them. Then you take a pre-test, correct it, have them correct it on this side. And then they just have various activities. This is day 2. There's usually like little kind of like puzzles type of activities. So they're very fun. We really enjoy them. They're very simple every day. Here's a list word that matches the definition, copy work, that type of thing. Here's the little, almost like math. And then on day 5, they have their final test. And then they do that again each week. Each week it's very similar. And so, again, it made a full video on this curriculum, but that's pretty much all there is to it, honestly. Like I said, we did enjoy it. It's very simple, which I like, but I just thought it'd be nice for him to learn those phonetic marks. I think that'll be beneficial for when he's looking up words in the dictionary or even online. It's nice to know. So that's why we're going with the other one. And so far, we've been enjoying it. It's been pretty good. I hope that was helpful. And I'll leave both of these curriculums, their websites, in the description box. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Or if you've used any of these curriculum and you want to share, how it went for you guys, I'd love to hear it. And I think that'll be helpful for others. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.